So you understand you're not under arrest?
Yeah.
When an interrogator confronts a suspect, it may be the only chance police have to find out the truth about a crime.
I understand that you were brought down here because something happened to one of your neighbors, is that right?
Yeah, the lady downstairs.
May 26, 2004. San Antonio, Texas police officers respond to a possible homicide at the home of 29-year-old Celia Martinez.
Police!
After a quick search, they find her lifeless body in the shower. The young mother of 7 had been brutally beaten and stabbed multiple times. Police become suspicious of 45-year-old Armando Aleman. He and his wife rent an upstairs room from Martinez. Aleman tells police he has no idea what happened to his landlady, but detectives notice spots of blood behind his ear. Aleman is facing Detective Curtis Walker, a 13-year veteran interrogator.
How are you doing, sir?
All right.
Detective Walker, San Antonio Police.
That is the first thing you should be doing. So we gave him eye contact. Now, the suspect did not give eye contact back. He actually looked down and just said, yeah, doing good.
I don't know anything about the case. I got to get everything from you, okay?
Their mom was accusing us of killing her daughter, and we had nothing to do with it. We were upstairs.
Interrogators know what to look for when a suspect is lying. It begins with unconscious signals that we all give off when we're being deceptive. Interrogators call them a person's tells.
Everyone has a different tell, just like in poker. You figure out what people's tells are.
Former ATF agent Janine Driver trains interrogators to keep a close eye on gestures and posture. Anything out of place can be a sign of deception.
We all know our tells of our children and of our best friends or our mother, and it's the same exact thing, but cops have to do it in a short amount of time with a stranger.
To determine a suspect's tell, an investigator first tries to get a sense of his normal body language.
I want to have as casual a conversation as possible up front to get a good solid baseline.
Retired U.S. Army interrogator Greg Hartley has spent years studying criminals and terrorists.
I'm looking for what's normal as you can get in an interrogation.
To establish Armando Aleman's baseline, Detective Walker asks him questions completely unrelated to the murder.
Where do you work at?
Mama's Cafe, downtown.
I don't think I've tried that one yet.
It's good food.
Then, as Walker begins to ask Aleman more direct questions, he'll look for subtle changes in Aleman's body language.
What happened?
Oh, I don't know. I guess there was a lot of blood on the floor or something.
Interrogators know that the stress caused by lying can trigger deviations from normal behavior.
Okay. Did you see that, or did somebody?
No, we were upstairs. No, I didn't see it.
He's doing something very weird with his left hand. He's got his left arm like tucked up underneath his stomach there. It looks out of place.
When you are cognizant of a lie that you might be caught in, your eyes start to dry, so your blink rate increases. You get thirsty. Your skin gets pale because there's no need for blood in your skin. You need it in your muscles.
Unusual eye movements can mean suspects are thinking too hard about the details of their story because they're making things up.
Did you meet her first at the club?
Yeah,
we met her first at the apartments.
At the club.
And how long ago was that?
Wow. Now we've been going here for a while.
Blink, 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 blink. He's creating. He's just pulling stuff out of air.
Gee.
When I look at people looking up to think, I think it's bizarre.
Oh, I couldn't really tell you how long. See, I don't really talk to the person.
He said, I don't really talk to the person. He knows her name is Celia, and now he's saying, I don't even know the person. This is called distancing language. This is what people do when they don't want to be associated to the lie that they're about to tell you or the crime that they committed. They'll say the person or the child or that woman because it's creating distance.
I have noticed, and one of the officers told me that you had some what looked like blood on you.
They didn't mention that. I said, where?
Can you tell me how that might have happened?
Well, I scratched my ear because there's something biting me.
Okay.
So
So, well, that explains that.
Most suspects fear forensic science.
Whoever hurt Celia probably left something behind, and they probably took some of Celia's DNA. If I touch you right now, I'm probably going to have your DNA on me. That's a scientific fact.
It's not me calling you a bad guy. It's the evidence that's going to show up. It's the evidence that's going to sell you out, not me. So he's taking himself out of the equation. Very smart.
I want you to think about that for a minute. I'm going to go get me a soda water. I notice you have one and I don't have one.
Oh, sorry.
I want you to think while I'm gone about being untruthful.
Isolating a subject can allow an interrogator to observe his behavior and catch him off guard.
He has obviously no idea he's being watched. He's washing that now. He's licking his arm. It's very strategic to have those paper towels there to give that guy an opportunity, the suspect, to wipe himself down. Awesome.
Aliman's incriminating display gives Detective Walker the leverage he needs.
Mr. Aliman, what I want to do at this point is give you the opportunity to tell me what really happened out there. Okay?
At some point, they're good interrogators. They're going to stop and say, look, what you're telling me doesn't add up, and start the accusatory process.
You have given me solid inconsistencies, okay? Everything, all your body language, everything about your demeanor today is showing, indicating signs of deception. Have you done your Coke?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
This is the close. Turning that heat up. You can feel it, just turning it up.
This rag that you wiped your ear off with, it's going to go to the crime lab. When that blood comes up to be Celia's, you're going to have a hard time explaining how you wiped your little sore or whatever on your ear and got Celia's blood.
He is closing the loop and tightening the collar around his neck. That's an effective interrogation technique. It's actually my favorite, to come back hard at the end instead of trying to be hard-nosed all along.
You want to start over from scratch?
What do you mean?
You're not telling me why and how you killed Celia.
I didn't.
Absolutely you did. I'm not asking you to tell me that you did it, because I know that. We can prove that in court. All I'm asking you is whether or not you want to tell us why you did it. That's it.
Really good use of silence. Sometimes 30 seconds of dead silence is more powerful than thousands of words, because now you're feeling like you're sitting there drowning and no one's coming to your rescue.
Whoever speaks first loses.
Okay, one reason. It's because she kept on charging us more money than we should have.
Aliman's body language changes as he tells the truth.
He's getting it off his chest, and you'll see a change from the whole interview up until now. This is the real him. He's telling the truth.
My wife said, no, we're not going to give you any more money. We already paid your rent. And so, that's when it started. And that's when I lost it.
What did you do?
I hit her on the head. I just kept on hitting her.
It's a full confession, legally obtained and admissible in court.
It's absolutely the hardest thing you'll do. A lot of good interrogators can get a lot of information, but so few people can nail what they really need.
That officer was extraordinary. I mean, it's just textbook all the way.
18 months later, a judge sentences Aliman to life in prison. Detective Walker got Aliman to confess to murder in about an hour. But Aliman had no criminal record and had never faced an interrogator before. Hardened criminals are another story. Coming up next, a detective faces down a serial rapist and tries against all odds to save the lives of 2 young women.
Are we going to find either girl alive?
Every time an interrogator enters that bare room and faces a suspect, it's a unique challenge. The tactics have to fit the situation, and criminals who face down interrogators before present the toughest challenge of all.
They learn from their interviews and interrogations what you're doing to them, what tricks you use. They talk about it in prison, and it makes your job that much more difficult.
April 1999, San Luis Obispo, California. Police are searching for two missing women, Andrea Crawford and Rachel Newhouse, both 20 years old. They believe that a paroled serial rapist named Rex Krebs can tell them what happened. Police found blood on the jump seat of his pickup. Krebs doesn't know it, but DNA testing confirms that the blood is Rachel Newhouse's. So the challenge facing veteran detective Larry Hobson is how to get a tough ex-con who knows all the interrogator's tricks to come clean.
I'm sure you've thought about a lot of this stuff that's going on.
Well, I'm sitting here looking at you in jail. Something I didn't do.
Okay. Well, we're either trying to show you did it or you didn't do it. That's my dilemma. And if I confront him, the defense mechanisms tell him to shut up. So instead of doing that, you sit down and you start talking about other things, less threatening things, getting that rapport going.
Krebs folds his arms, avoids eye contact, and sometimes hunches into a fetal position. Anxiety alone isn't a sign of guilt, but whenever the subject turns to the missing girls, Krebs' body language speaks volumes.
We all give tells, and as he's getting anxious, he starts to play with his goatee.
As an ex-convict, Krebs knows he has the right to stop an interrogation at any time.
I was afraid he was going to invoke and say, I want an attorney. And once he did that, it's over.
To keep him talking, Hobson plays to a known weakness, the suspect's ego.
Everybody we talked to so far has said one thing about Rex Krebs that I hear over and over again is truth, honesty, and integrity. I think if those are three words that I could identify you with, that's what I've heard.
Something man's got.
I've got the eye contact back. He's talking about things that are non-threatening to him.
But building rapport is only the first step. The detective makes clear how much he knows about Krebs by steering the interrogation to his violent and troubled past.
What was it that at that young age, especially 21, pushed you into the idea of forcing sex on women? I wanted him to understand and to know that we had done our homework and we knew a lot about him.
It almost all come back to Dad beat my ass the whole time I was growing up. And my mom knew it.
Yeah, maybe I'm missing something. How does this tie into your mom and this beating, into you forcing yourself on other women?
Hated women.
All women or just certain women?
I think it was pretty much all women. No respect.
He's orchestrating multiple approaches and multiple tools to get what he wants. That's exactly what interrogation is good orchestration.
Working Krebs' emotions, Hobson confronts the suspect with the DNA evidence found on the jump seat of his pickup truck.
You're familiar with DNA, I'm sure, the results and so forth. And guess whose blood that is? Rachel Newhouse. And again, I'm not making it up, Rex. I wished I was.
For nearly half an hour, Krebs listens while Hobson talks.
I need to know what happened. I need to know where I can find Andrea and Rachel. Can you help me find them? Rex, can you help?